You're watching Less Than Epic's coverage of the Overwatch League. Enjoy the show.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Week 3 of the Overwatch League. This past week has not been great if you're a Boston fan. The Celtics lose, the Uprising lose. At least football's coming soon. On the plus side, I think the Uprising started to figure out the meta a little bit last week, and man, do they need some wins right now. Looking at our scoreboard, it looks like the Epic Army is keeping up well with Radid and Kinky, but the last 2 weeks have been pretty similar in picks. This week, however, we kick it off with 8 games that has at least one person choosing differently. This makes things a little more interesting finally, and I'm looking to recover from a piss-poor start. I'm coming for you, boys. Opening Week 3 is New York taking on Philly. This matchup could be as close as both teams are the top of the league, but as usual, everyone has picked New York. It seems at this point, New York is nearly untouchable, but I hope Philly can pull it out, as I'd like Boston to hold that perfect stage all to themselves. If we take a glance right now at New York's score for Stage 4, it is unbelievable. They have lost one map and only tied on one map and won all the rest. Insane. And next up, we will see Seoul taking on Shanghai, and again, we are unanimous in picking Seoul. It's pretty hard to pick Shanghai right now, but I'll give them a slight chance here, as Seoul has been 3-7 in their last 10. That's only one more win than Florida and the same record as Dallas. Looking back at Stage 1 and Stage 2, no one would have guessed this for sure. Closing out our Wednesday, we will have the Battle of LA yet again. The picks come split down the middle. Kinky and I on Valiant and Radid, and you guys on Gladiators. This will be their 5th clash, including preseason, and as you can see, Valiant holds the slight edge at 3-1. Both teams are performing very well in this current meta, and it's really hard to find anything that can give either an edge. Everything I looked at, from map wins to records to kills, is all so close, it's hard to pick. I believe this game will come down to heart and experience in big games, and this will definitely be a must-watch game. And moving on to Thursday, we have London taking on Boston. We have one oddball here who's making a crazy pick. I bet you can't guess who. Yeah, me. I know it's a long shot. I know Boston has been sucking, and since losing their coach have not been playing together. Yes, I know they lost to Dallas, but London hasn't been playing all that well either, and these two teams play their asses off when they face each other. I'm looking to see Boston prepare well and get back on track with a huge 5-map win. Otherwise, they could miss out on the playoffs. And up next, we have what I think could be a pretty epic matchup as San Francisco Shock take on Dallas. Both teams were considered pretty bad up till now, but both have flourished in this stage, and San Francisco is in the last stage. We have one oddball again here in Kinky picking San Francisco, with everyone else taking Dallas. Again, I can see this game going either way, as Dallas really likes this meta. Both teams are fighting to get into the stage playoffs, as both are eliminated from the season playoffs. And we look to Philly taking on the Gladiators to finish up our Thursday schedule. And on this one, we are again split 50-50. However, this time it's the Army and me picking Philly, and Kinky and Radid together at last on the Gladiators. Both teams are honestly playing well, and if we look to see who sports the best Brigitte, sadly, it's the Gladiators with Bishu, according to Winston's Labs. It's also good to note that the Gladiators have played her just a hair more. And Friday kicks off with Houston taking on Shanghai, and, well, we all picked Houston. Like I said earlier, we can't really pick Shanghai right now. There's no reason to beat this dead dragon unless you're playing Jake on Brigitte. Houston needs to get 4-0 here if they want to get into the stage playoffs, as they currently are sitting at a 0 map differential. Meanwhile, New York and the Gladiators up on top of the leaderboards are at plus 13 and plus 12. Our middle Friday match is Florida versus Seoul, and again, we all picked Seoul, and again, this seems like it should be a no-brainer. But as I spoke about earlier, Seoul is actually just one win ahead of Florida in the last 10. What the hell? That doesn't even seem possible, but it certainly is true. I picked Seoul, but I think this could be a coin flip and maybe even Florida getting themselves another win. If that happens, we really need to look at Seoul a little bit closer and figure out what the hell happened to cause a team to go from the very top to the very bottom in a matter of one season. And closing out our Friday night is Boston taking on San Francisco Shock. When we think about this game with the past in mind, we tend to think this is an easy win for Boston. And Kinky, myself, and Radit all picked that way. But if we look at this stage, it tells a very different story and one that scares me as a Boston fan. This could very easily be the end of the stage for Boston, but as I mentioned before, they are also starting to slip in the season playoffs, which wouldn't be good. My hope is that Boston will get back on track this week. The reality, however, is possibly San Francisco walking away with a win and the Epic Army being right. And on to much happier subjects, unless you're not a Boston fan. London is taking on Dallas, and we are split 50-50. Surprise, surprise, as the London fangirls are at it again. Meanwhile, the Army and I have picked Dallas. As I spoke about earlier, I think that London was a major decline, but started to swing back the other way slightly, with some great stage 4 play and some great brigade play. But Dallas is also liking this meta and has made an even bigger swing. This game is going to certainly be an epic matchup, and I think the winner will probably be moving into the stage playoffs, while the loser just tries to pick up the pieces. Up next, we will see New York taking on the Valiant, and I would not have guessed this, but the Epic Army has decided to pick Valiant. Meanwhile, the LTE crew is picking New York. Now, don't get me wrong, I think the Valiant is one of the few teams that can actually compete with New York, but right now, I just don't think New York's going to lose. They only dropped one map and had one tie in 4 complete games. Granted, those were against some weaker teams in Seoul, London, Shanghai, and Florida, but still pretty freaking crazy. Maybe this is the week, however, that they will lose a game as they have 2 tough matchups. And I, for one, would be okay with that. And last, but certainly not least, Florida versus Houston. Again, this one on paper seemed easy to pick, and 3 of us, all of us but Kinky, went with Houston. When I chatted with Kinky about this, his words were, and I quote, "All you's gots to do is believe," end quote. Well, Kinky believes, but I just don't see them getting past Jake and Houston, who are loving this new meta. But we all love the underdog winning, and there seems to be a lot of random, unexpected wins in the Overwatch League, so, hey, maybe Kinky's right, maybe not. Let him know in the comments below. Well, everyone, thank you again for checking us out. We only have 2 more weeks of the Overwatch League coverage remaining, with some minor playoff coverage. However, after that, our channel will start trying to dip back into what we did to get us started, like classic WoW, current WoW, maybe new MMOs, maybe even some other random news, and hopefully just some other random funny shit. Let us know in the comments below what kind of stuff you might like to see after the Overwatch League coverage. Lastly, make sure to click that link in the description below and cast your vote for week 4. Have a great day, everyone. Go Boston, and get good scrubs.
If you like our coverage of the Overwatch League, let us know by liking and subscribing. And if you didn't, let us know why in the comments below. Maybe we can make it better. Thanks for watching, everyone.